Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. And this is Jacqueline with, hi, everybody, with Intuition Power and Cosmic Light Academy, and my friend and guest, Alana Heim, with Prosperity Alignment, who just got back from a lovely road trip with your family. Welcome home.
Thank you.
And wow, it's been crazy in the world of news, and it's hard to avoid it. And I don't know whether it's something that we need to avoid, uh, or for me, when I watch it, I'm constantly thinking, um, sending love and sending a sense of peace and the sense of hope that, trust that this gets resolved quickly and that it serves its purpose, whatever it is on the global scale of transformation, because sometimes people need to get kind of knocked on the head a couple times before they wake up. Um, and things are in transformation, transition. And so I think today's topic is about how we react and respond and participate or not.
Mm.
Welcome back to that.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Um,
guess it's like we've all been hitting snooze for quite a while to keep
yeah.
us in our slumber. And now we're having the jarring awakening point of like, okay, either I have stuff to do, it's time to do it, and I can't just keep following along. And, I like that you said reactions and responses because I see those as two very different things. Reactions are usually of the past, more subconscious, maybe more emotional, and we just flip our lid and lose it, right? We just react. We see this thing and it just triggers that right piece of ourself that still hasn't been brought into wholeness and needs support to shift so that it can be more responsive, right? Responsive to me is that I take a deep breath. I have this thing, but I now get to choose. Do I react? Do I respond differently? Yes, I may have emotions, but what are they sharing with me? And it's more calm, right? It's not like the explosive. It's just more like we get to choose now,
Well,
how we let
that's
it impact.
that's we get to choose. It's not that a lot of people are not there. We get to choose. It's they're still in the reactive. They watch the news. They or they don't watch the news. And as you're talking, all of a sudden I'm seeing a scene of people at surfing, like waves at a beach.
Mm.
And not everybody is, if somebody's sitting on the beach and they're not participating in the process, then they see some people way out there waiting for a wave, and they're waiting for a big wave. And then other people take smaller waves and they're doing their thing. And so, depending on where you are, like if you're in a military family, you're participating in a specific way. Your family is on the line and it's intense, and probably you've been trained to do just that. So that would be like the person that's um at at the beach that has the 20-foot waves that are like intense. And uh and some people, that's what they are are doing. That's what they are here to do, to ride those waves, to be in the military, to do what that is set up for. And in fact, a long time ago, a friend of mine said, "Oh, by the way, there's a interesting fact. Um, 20, about 15 to 20 years before the large wars, more male babies are born. Thousands and thousands of more males are born, and then there's a war and they get killed. When they're 17, 18, 19, 20 to whatever. And I was like shocked. And she said, it's a statistic and you can look it up. I didn't look it up, but she's the kind of person that gets very, very detailed in terms of her research. So I believe that. And I thought that's so interesting because when we back off to look at the idea of reincarnation, why am I here? Part of it is to gain a self awareness of source. Who am I? Why am I here? I'm an aspect of God, maybe. I am here to evolve. Some of you are here to participate in government. Some of you are not. Some are here to do healing work, to do counseling, to do inspirational work. And you're on that journey of self-discovery. But whatever that is, it's partly we have to start with, not we have to, it helps if we start with self knowing. Who am I? Why am I here? How do I react? I keep track of pretty much, I attempted to keep track of what's going on in the world because some of my coaching clients are very involved. And I tend to flip on here, that, and the other randomly, not at the same time every day, but I get the newest news that's usually accurate. And it just comes. And I heard that. I heard that. I heard that. I don't have to do the research and like every day for half hour in the morning, in the evening, whatever. It just flows in. And then a conversation comes up and I add to it, or I heard that and I'm not caught off guard most of the time. And that's because of my work with people like you, with human design and astrology and some of the other courses that you teach, and with all my other teachers and the books that I've read and meditation, to stabilize it. Even exercise or washing the dishes can be a form of meditation. So to center and to stay centered, you're brilliant at staying centered.
Mm. Well, thank you. I've definitely worked at it. And then at the same time, I think over this last year, I kind of realized I think I'm more parasympathetic dominant. And
What does that mean?
that means like my nervous system actually runs calmer, right? I don't run in stress. And yet I was finding, I think a lot of things in the world has tried to pull me into that because I think most of the world actually runs in sympathetic dominance, meaning we're always in stress overload and we're always reacting and being triggered by something. And it's like, that constant, like we're all over the place. And so realizing that it was the things like people would say, it was the way I would be even in school, whether in college. And I was just always so lax and so relaxed, like whatever, no big deal, right? I wasn't like, oh God, we have a test. And it was just, I either know what I know and we're just going to go do it. And to kind of come back and see where have I let the world suck me back into their stress and where can I stay grounded? And and then there's a whole other bunch of dynamics that come with the food you eat and why I would probably need more meat than the others, because if I'm more calm, I actually need more of that acid, right? I don't need more alkalinity. I'm already there. And so there's different dynamics and pieces, but for me to realize, okay, if I am more calm and grounded, how do I own that? Right? So that means if someone does come at me, I'm usually kind of like, okay, right? I'm not going to get triggered as much. I am going to respond more than I would react. And I think a good example for all of us is to realize where are the moments when you don't know something. And I had a friend the other day just like start talking about how we can sit in, I don't know, and actually be like curious and excited and welcoming of it. Because most of the time, like what you're saying, you're prepared, you know what's going on in the world. So it's like, it's not a shock. It's not going to like jolt you because all of a sudden, hey, did you hear this thing? And a lot of times when we don't know something, like, did you know that this thing is happening? We might be like, oh my God. And we immediately react into fear. Like, what don't I know? And I don't understand. And I probably should know more. And I don't know what to say. And either people kind of freak out or they shut down. And I think especially in the world today,
or
there's,
fall apart.
yeah, yeah, but there's so much happening in a blink of an eye. It's just like you and I talking and realizing, oh wow, I didn't join you last Thursday. And it's already Thursday. Like a whole week just passed by. Like think of all the things that just transpired in your own life in one week. And then when you then extrapolate that out to, oh my gosh, what happened to all my family and friends in that week? What happened to my community in that week? What happened to the world in that week? It's so much. And that's the part where you won't know every detail and you can't know every detail, nor would you want to because it might overload you because it's so much.
Uh, there is, uh, th- in yeah, there is like that. See, that's the thing. There's so much, and all of a sudden
It's
you get
you get
like
overwhelmed
blah, blah,
thinking
blah, blah.
of
Uh,
all the possibility of it. And in that, when we can just kind of sit in, take the breath and respond to, yeah, I don't know. I don't know all. Something amazing is going to happen to me today. Yeah.
so I have little things around the house. I drink from this cup almost every day, and that's facing me. And if you're watching this, what do you have to remind yourself to stay in a mystical, magical space of expectation of something amazing is going to happen to me today? I don't know what, but if things are challenging, God forbid something happens to your family pet, to anybody in your family, or to you uh, personally, or um, to your neighborhood, or whatever that might be, stuff happens. And if you're staying in tune with the news, which is who's telling the truth, what is real, what is yay, no, yes, horrible, like let's all, 15 different news sources will give you 15 different stories today. So how do you manage, instead of shutting it all off, and then you want to stay aware? Certainly if you're in a space closer to, I'm thanking my lucky stars I'm in Reno, Nevada, because it's we do have a naval training base close by, or it may not be naval, but it's one of those things. But we also have lakeside. I'm a mile away from a lake. I can walk around it. I'm 45-minute drive to Lake Tahoe. And there we have, um actually, Reno's not a good place. Don't come here. Um, but there are, and if you close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and use your imagination, you can be anywhere in it, and you can also be in a safe place. You can talk to angels, you can talk to spirit, God, source, whatever, and you can get insights and reclaim that sense of um everything's okay, or it's going to be okay. And certainly if you lose someone that's close to you, it can be shocking. It can be temporarily devastating. But in that moment of devastation, it's not fun. It's, and so having friends, having being involved with community that you can reach out to if you need to, is important. But starting with your own self, to me, the spiritual journey is about connecting with my own source, so that when it's like those things that you, the stand up things that people punch, and then it pops up itself, and you punch it and it pops up itself. And to me, I want to, not that I want to be a punching bag, but when something, if like the ballerina, if you're able to spin on your toe for like 5 times 10, 15 circles, you're in your center, and that's where your power is. So to stay in your power, and if you need to watch the war news and the environmental news and the challenging stuff, because news still today, unfortunately, is about negative headlines to get people to look, and then they draw you in to build the adrenaline, and hopefully sprinkle it with facts, but they want you to like, because that's when you talk about it, and then you, where'd you hear that? I think I'll watch that too. Instead of taking a few deep breaths, even now, as you're watching, and just for a moment, come up with something that you want to think about. I look outside and I see lilacs on the tree outside my window. Like, yay. And I can think for a moment about that, or I can go out and I can just grab a sprig of it and sniff it and remember that that was my mom's favorite flower. And that was beautiful. And she passed away 20 years ago tomorrow. And so all of a sudden, I'm remembering how wonderful a woman she was and is in my heart and my mind. And um, and I was so blessed and lucky to have her as a mom. And that's what, and so I can um celebrate that, and shift that. And am I making any sense here?
Yeah, yeah, that in any given moment, you get to choose the presence of whatever. I mean, you get to visualize, just like you said, you could be sad, but in that moment you could go see something and retrieve it and enjoy it and remember through it.
Right.
And
And here's the thing, in like, oh my God, she lost her mom. Instead of like crying, I am so grateful that I got to remember her
through
in
the
that moment. And because I just feel so much love and appreciation. She was just an amazing woman that I got to spend decades interacting with, and so many amazing memories that I also, traits and cooking abilities and things that I pass on. And I'm just like overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. And so there are anchors and things that you can use to, even though that she's not here, yeah, it's part of life. And I'm grateful, and it's a beautiful time to remember. And so there, you know, make some memories. And um and during this time, when there are challenges, reach out if you're having problems with stress, extra stress, whether it be I can't sleep, I can't this, whatever it is that you're having. My work can help you. Alana's help can work you. That's why we're here. Not just here on this broadcast, but how do people connect with your work if they want to explore it?
If you really want to see what it's all about, then please join me on Patreon. That's patreon.com/prosperity alignment. That's where my membership is. There's free membership, and I'm using it as my own library of everything I've created over the last 10 years. So every newsletter and blog post and inspiration and tip and healings, courses, anything, everything. I still have over 80 different podcasts and interviews and things to still add. So there's still more stuff to come, but I'm just finding anything and everything ever created so that here it is. And I know that timelines, run wherever you are and wherever I was, like we cross when we're meant to. So even if it feels like, oh, but this is 10 years ago, no, it's probably your current,
There's
and yeah.
there are some things that are called evergreen,
Mhm.
and things that are dealing with self-empowerment and reactionary, how you react to things, how you respond to things, how you discover what are my strongest strengths, why am I here, how can I best live this life, and to really dig out, heal, and resolve um, your own personal history or mysteries. Because a lot of people, I sit there for 40 years of teaching courses in personal potential of you get a group of 50 people, and how many of you remember a lot of your own history from 15 years before that? And I am always shocked that a lot of people blocked out their memory of their childhood. Maybe they can remember the school they went to, maybe they can remember certain things, but all those birthdays, all those holidays, all of those personal, foundational experiences. And then when they do remember, oftentimes they recall the shocking ones that are painful first, and that's what they blocked off. But they blocked off all the good stuff as well, the creativity, the innocence, the ability to have innocence and creativity, and really when you unlock some of those things, it's amazing how much wonderful juice there is for personal empowerment and enrichment of everything in your life. So, you want to have more fun, more success? Contact Alana Heim through Patreon. And it's, say it one more time, the
PATREON.com. And you can join
and
for
then there's
free.
a slash.
Slash prosperity alignment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, YouTube world where you can search for things. It's Patreon is its own world, and you can search for all kinds of creators. So if there's certain things that you love, like in a certain topic, like astrology or human design, or even just gaming or music, or it's a whole different world where we can kind of have our own little platforms, but we can create and be creative, and we all are. And even for myself, I'm still remembering that is true.
Right. And the astronauts are out there. Have you seen stuff saying that the astronauts things are fake? I
I
have.
think so. Yeah, I see, and again, it's a spectrum, and
I
Whatever you
know.
believe is true, and it is, I don't know, it's all true or it's all not true, and you get to be the one to discern where do you
I
stand in it
know. It's
all.
like, is it? Is it not? Is it? Is it not? You're crazy. No, you're crazy. It's like, I don't know for sure.
Hmm.
So could be, maybe, maybe not. I've always wondered about the Van Allen belt. And I do believe actually that the first space landing in the 60s, I think it was whether it happened or not, what they showed was Hollywood photography because there's so many. I saw a whole expose
Hmm.
for it was an hour long thing long time ago, and it said we are a group of professional photographers that have been asking NASA questions that have consistently for years and years, and they refuse or cannot answer. And finally, they responded, "We've lost the records. So we cannot." And basically, what they were asking was from a photographic standpoint,
There
um,
were shadows,
how come,
there were all kinds of
how
things.
did this happen and how did that happen and how did you create this and what about the getting through the Van Allen belt and this and that and the other. And they actually, they so when NASA responded, we lost the uh uh we lost the records on that. And so then they said, oh, it was the spacesuits. It was in the spacesuits that was. So then they tracked down the people that actually created the company that actually created the spacesuits. And the response was, they never asked us to do any kind of radiation shielding. No, the spacesuits didn't have radiation shielding. That was not part of their request. So then they're going, okay, so how did they get back and forth? And so for me, I know that there's a lot of questions and a lot of untruths or missing answers about a lot of things that we're being told about. And the bottom line is, okay, so yeah. Um
All I can say is all the world's a stage. And
yes.
it's just, that's all that keeps coming over years. I'm pretty sure I recorded a video of all the world's a stage like 5 years ago or something. And again, still relevant now. And that's what I just lean into is that the truth of that everything is a production, entertainment, manipulation, whatever it is for some sort of agenda.
I just refound my sign.
Hmm.
Believe you can and you will. And um, if you want more psychic development, personal empowerment, contact Intuition Power.
Yes, go see Jacqueline. She's amazing.
And I want to wish you a very happy week and welcome home from your
Yeah.
trip.
Thank you. And
And
I'm just gonna say, stay calm and carry on, right?
right, right. And do some meditation, do some prayer when you hear people are losing their lives or people are going through struggle or whatever. Just take a moment. You don't have to dwell on it, but start to, if you haven't trained yourself to really respond with a turn it over to God, to source, to, God bless them. And what you put out comes back to you. So put out joy, put out calm whenever you can.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and have a great week. Thank you, Alana. Hopefully, see you here next week.
Yes.